Everybody, today I'm just going to do a little talk about this little diagram I've made, and it's been made in a AI image generation tool, and it's actually of pictures of my interior but reinterpreted in a 3D depth map, occlusion, low poly count, low detail diagram in grayscale. So that's how I got this anyway. So the source images, let's skip them quick. Pretend you didn't see that. Okay, source images are driver's seat looking to passenger speaker cluster. So there's my passenger speaker cluster. And here is driver's view of driver side cluster. So if you're not familiar, this is the lower speaker down here, just nestled in there, and this is middle of cabin facing driver cluster. Now see the geometries have shifted a little. Middle of cabin passenger cluster. Now I chucked them into a quick image editor, and what you might notice here is the steering wheel's on the left in the second photo, and the steering wheel's on the left in the third photo. So I've kept the middle of the cabin perspectives in the same mirrored flipping to demonstrate that the geometries are similar, and my camera angle position could have been a little bit better, but you should see that B pillar and the sun visor and the center instrument cluster all lining up in a similar geometry. And this is driver side measurement flipped, so you can see the speaker cluster. Not only is it obviously further away, but you can see that lower door is almost a 90-degree facing us, and here it's very close, more of a 40, 35 degree. And also the A pillar goes for hard 45, and here it goes more like a 70, and the front window is going to be reflecting back at a different angle too. So that's what I was kind of described there, and this is my first go before I narrowed it down. As you can see, AI has made it, I'm trying to make it easier to look at, but it's made it a little bit more confusing with all those background images. So here's another one. You can see the top two geometries are similar, and the bottom two geometries are very different. Top two geometries are similar. It's even chucked a steering wheel in for us. Same here. Bottom two geometries, way different. Just imagine you're standing here on this picture and you yell out, "Echo!" And what kind of echo would you get back from here? And what kind of echo would you get back from here? So these spaces up here, they would make a similar kind of echo. But let's not digress. Was that a third one? No, it doesn't really matter. So this last one I landed on, so I could do some illustrations with us. So let's have a look. There's a pen tool in this one. That's good. So let's go for blue. So half the time we think that there's our speaker, there's our 8-inch, and we go, oh, let's do our car correction for those two places. It should be pretty easy. The RTA will show us what it sounds like, and we'll fix our stereo, and it's going to sound great. All right, but that's not really what happens. What really happens is a microphone sees this one triangle out here. So for each case, the triangle is a slightly different shape. This is what the microphone is capturing this, and it's also capturing this rectangle. And here you can see there's a lot more of that rectangle, and it's also I mean, this is simplified, guys, don't worry. This space, and this space, and this space. See how the spaces are a bit different? And this is a long, drawn-out space. What else? A little bit of roof, and here they're out of the shot, so that's really neither here nor there. And in this case, in the bottom picture, passenger side from driver's perspective, you've got all these interactions, and here you've just got a much shorter set of negative interactions. So I deem all of these things I'm showing you, I deem as pollution. Now, as you can see, the top two pictures, the pollution is quite similar. And in the bottom two pictures, the pollution is a little bit different. And if we just get rid of all that picture. So that's what a microphone sees. It sees everything, including the direct sound. All of these things and all of these things. So this is from center of cabin. They're very similar. And this one is very close. So there's a lot more emphasis on these close surfaces, because they're closer to you. And here, you know, you got these more runaway, longer, bigger areas. The microphone is getting all of this, right? All of this from the footwell. Geometries are different. So you can imagine in these top two photos, the footwell geometry is almost identical. If you were to look down from the center of the cabin, if you look down in both footwells, the geometry would be pretty much identical. Now, why do I obsess about the geometries being the same? Because what that microphone is going to do, if you're trying to make one side equal the other, these two green parts are going to factor out and they're going to disappear. And so anything that was the same, if you're trying to make two sides the same, the only things that are different, you know, ignore that there's a steering wheel, the only thing that's different is the direct sound. You get to tune your stereo like you wanted to. Do you get that? You get to tune your stereo. And if in the driver's seat tune, you don't get to tune your stereo. You think you're tuning your stereo, but look how small that is. Look how big this is. Look how small that is. Look how big this is. Look at the pollution elements. The pollution elements are quite different. They have a different sound. Different sounds. I wish I could, you know, draw penguins here and albatrosses there, because they're going to sound different. You're not tuning your stereo, you're tuning the pollution plus your stereo. And here, you're tuning your stereo against a very similar pollution. And that is the point of today's video. So, yeah guys, I wish you the best, and go ahead and make yourself a center tune. Like, if you've seen my last couple of videos, we went pretty deep into our FIR EQs and phase and stuff like that. So the more tools in your brain about how you used to tune, you can apply it to this, and you'll get to make your left and right sides sound much more like each other. And I'm here to tell you as a witness that even sitting in the driver's position, the stereo just fucking sounded amazing using the top example. And the one takeaway I've learnt is that when you do a DIY speaker install, even in your best intentions of making every single thing the same, all the subtle differences in your enclosure building and speaker aiming and all those tiny little subtle differences, and even the subtle differences in this first realm, I call it the first quarter wavelength realm. So up here in the tweeters it's only like 5 centimeters or so, and in the mid ranges it's like 20 centimeters or so, and in the bass frequencies it's like 30 to 40 centimeters or so. So those first quarter wavelengths can be slightly different because of all the different objects, and so your tuning for just that first quarter wavelength and your direct. And even here you can see it improves the sound from the driver's seat, even though you tune from the middle. All right, that's enough. We'll catch you later, guys, and keep going with this stuff. It's important.